Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is June 24th, 2025, and Barcelona are planning on signing Marc Pubil in an interesting deal, which I'm going to tell you all about. Also, FC Copenhagen confirming that Barcelona are only steps away from signing Rooney Bardghji. And finally, Barcelona are set to make a fraction of what we initially anticipated of the transfer of Ferran. We have a lot to discuss. So let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. We'll begin this video with the news that, ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona are planning to sign Marc Pubil in a co-ownership deal with Real Betis. Now, Marc Pubil is a 22-year-old right back who currently plays for Almeria in 2nd division. After Almeria failed to get promoted to 1st division, Marc Pubil has now decided to leave. And as you know from many previous videos throughout, I think, last year and the year before, Barcelona have been monitoring Marc Pubil. They, in fact, tried to sign him in the past, but unfortunately, Barcelona's finances did not allow for it. And now that Barcelona are in a better financial situation where they could sign Marc Pubil, of course, we do have an overbooking of right backs. Well, we currently have Koundé, Eric Garcia, and Hector Ford. So the club have decided not to sign any right backs, but now Barcelona have figured out a new way they could sign Marc Pubil, still allow him to develop and grow, and still maintaining control over the future of the 22-year-old right back. And what deal am I talking about? Well, we're talking about a co-ownership deal where Barcelona would sign Marc Pubil with Real Betis, and both clubs would own the player or the rights to the player. So then Marc Pubil can spend half of his contract at Real Betis, where he can grow, develop, become better. And then down the road, he could come to Barcelona. And if Barcelona have a need for a right back, or Marc Pubil proves himself to be this one hell of a right back, Barcelona could keep him. If not, they can, of course, offload him. And this might sound familiar because Barcelona already did this with Royal Emerson. As you might recall, in 2019, Barcelona signed Emerson alongside with Real Betis for 12 million euros. Barcelona paid 6, Real Betis paid 6. He spent 2.5 years with Real Betis. Then he came to Barcelona, but eventually Barcelona did offload him. But that's the kind of deal that Barcelona are planning now with the Real Betis, because after all, the two clubs have a very great relationship. Now, speaking of signings, ladies and gentlemen, FC Copenhagen have confirmed something that I've been talking about for quite some time, and that is that Barcelona are set to sign Rooney Bardghji during this summer transfer market. Now, Rooney Bardghji, we already talked about him, 19 years old, right winger, originally Syrian, born in Kuwait, grew up in Sweden, then moved to FC Copenhagen, where he got his start in professional football. Of course, back, I think this was 2 or 3 seasons ago, he scored the winning goal against Manchester United in the Champions League and became the hottest commodity in Europe. But unfortunately, a torn ACL in his right knee meant that all those clubs that were trying to sign him, more specifically Marseille, who were very close to signing him, they all backed away. And after spending a year in recovery, Rooney Bardghji is now back playing football, and Barcelona have very positive reports that he has fully recovered from his injury. And given that his contract expires at the end of the season, at the end of this year, December 31st, and given that his market value has been reduced a lot thanks to the injury, Barcelona see this as a great market opportunity. And in fact, Deco and Bojan flew to meet with the player. The player expressed his interest in joining Barcelona. So that's when, Barcelona started negotiating with FC Copenhagen, where the club are expected to sign Rooney Bardghji for 2.5 million euros. And now this has been confirmed. This news has been confirmed, and it's been confirmed by FC Copenhagen's sporting director when he said the following: there are advanced talks with Barcelona to sign Rooney Bardghji. We have received a very attractive offer from Barcelona for Bardghji. We are currently in discussions with Rooney and his representatives to finalize all agreements. We expect the player to soon undergo his medical with Barcelona, after which the deal will be officially completed. So there you have it, folks. FC Copenhagen confirming that yes, Barcelona are set to sign Rooney Bardghji. This is happening. This will be Barcelona's third signing in the summer after Joan Garcia, Nico Williams, and now Rooney Bardghji, who, by the way, will be joining Barca Athletic with a first-team dynamic where he will train with the first team, maybe get called up for a few matches, depending on how his development goes. If he shows that he has what it takes to be a first-team player, well, he'll become a first-team player. If not, he'll have to spend more time at Barca Athletic, kind of like getting adapted, getting better, etc., etc., etc. One hell of a deal, 2.5 million euros for a very, very promising attacker. And as I said many times before, these are the kind of deals that Barcelona need to be closing. Deals for young, promising players that cost very little, because if they work out, amazing. You hit the lottery. You just sign a big star for nothing. If they don't work out, who cares? You're out 2.5 million euros. That's nothing. That's like Barcelona's toilet paper budget. Well, I hope not. That means they're pooping a lot. But anyways, let's move on to the next bit of news, because ladies and gentlemen, Pau Victor has been told that, well, Flick doesn't count on him. He won't be getting any minutes, and as such, the Barcelona attacker will be leaving during this summer transfer market. Now, Pau Victor spent his first season at Barcelona on loan from Girona, where he played with Barca Athletic, scoring 20 goals and providing 6 assists. And this, of course, prompted Barcelona to sign him on a permanent transfer. And even though he had a great start to the preseason, he ended up getting very few minutes under Hansi Flick with the first team. So given the lack of minutes, Pau Victor has decided to leave. And also the club have informed him that, Flick does not really count on him. So if he wants more minutes, he will have to go somewhere else. And well, it seems that Pau Victor has plenty of options, where Real Betis, Girona, Valencia, Sevilla are amongst the several clubs interested in him. And it's reported that Pau Victor would rather stay in La Liga. So probably going to be one of those teams. We'll see which one he goes to. But unfortunately, another player that will be leaving. But on a plus side, Barcelona are set to make some money, which they could use, of course, to reach the 1-to-1 rule and register players like Nico and Joan Garcia and Rooney Bardghji, because, again, another signing that Barcelona will be completing. Now, speaking of young attackers, young promising attackers, ladies and gentlemen, Pablo Garcia has expressed his interest in joining Barcelona. If you don't know who Pablo Garcia is, he's a 19-year-old right winger who came up through the academy of Real Betis. He currently still is at Real Betis. And he just became the hottest commodity in Spanish football after scoring 4 goals. Yes, 4 goals against Germany in the under-19 youth European competition. In fact, one of his goals was from a corner kick, an Olympic goal from a corner kick. So 4 goals against Germany in the under-19 European competition, which has helped Spain reach the final. And well, now that he has become the hottest commodity in Spanish football, he was asked about, his future plans. Does he want to stay at Real Betis? Where does he want to go? And this is what Pablo Garcia had to say. Right now, it's not like my plan. It's not in my plans, and I don't think it's going to be for a long time. I've been a Betis fan all my life, since I was in my mother's belly. I have a preference. I'm a Real Betis fan because it's the team of my life, but I'm much more attracted to Barcelona. Here, I always get together with La Masia players who, as well, being great players, are great people. So here you go, folks. Another young, promising player who wants to come to Barcelona. Of course, Barcelona are not looking to sign him right now, and he's looking to stay. But in the future, if he continues to develop, he continues shining, well, this could always be a future option. And in fact, let's look at his corner kick goal, because it was absolutely amazing. All right, here we go. Pablo Garcia kicks the ball. Boo! Beautiful effect he puts on it. Yeah, 4 goals against Germany. Absolutely amazing. And the guy is thinking about coming to Barcelona. So definitely great news. And then confirm something that I've said before. Everybody wants to come to Barcelona. Something that Bartomeu failed to understand. And as such, was spending money left and right, trying to outbid other clubs. And it's like, bro, you don't need to do that. Players already want to come here. In fact, players are willing to accept pay cuts in order to come to the greatest club on earth, FC Barcelona. All right, let's end this video with the news that Barcelona will be receiving a fraction of what was initially anticipated off the transfer of Ferran Jugla. Now, as you might recall, Jugla is someone that came to Barca Athletic, I think from Espanyol's academy, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't really work out, so he ended up moving to Club Bardghji, where Barcelona sold him for 5 million euros, and they retained 10% of his rights, or initially that's what we thought, but it turns out it wasn't 10% of the rights of the player. Barcelona retained 10% of any profits that Club Bardghji would make from any future sales. Now, Club Brugge have officially offloaded Ferran to Selta for 5.5 million euros. And since Barcelona sold the player to Club Brugge for 5 million, now they've sold him for 5.5. That means Club Brugge's profit is only how much? 500,000 euros. And Barcelona are have only the rights to 10% of the profit. So 10% of 500,000. So that means that Barcelona will only be getting 50,000 euros off this transfer. Whoever negotiated this, what were you doing? But anyways, that is all the news for this video. I uploaded another video before this one, and I will be uploading another one after this one. So stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, Barca.